Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Around the Colosseum. I'm your host, Johnny Amon, and with me, the other host, Erwin the Fourth. Erwin, last
Hello,
Saturday,
hello, hello.
we had an amazing benefit show last Saturday. Haven't seen you since then. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It was a wild show, but again, I felt some energy in that room. It was amazing. How you doing, Johnny?
Man, I'm good. And you're right, there was an amazing energy in the room because people were doing this to help Omar, and we raised money that is going to change the life of that family.
Absolutely, absolutely. All proceeds, like we said, went to Omar's family, and he had a great time. I mean, there was some things, guys, if you would have seen it, that would have been amazing, including, I think, Omar having a promising future in Empire Pro Wrestling, thanks to Trench.
I mean, he's got win over Trench. I think he pinned Duncan in the locker room. So yeah, he was
Yeah,
pinning
yeah,
people left
yeah,
and
yeah.
right.
Yeah, he chased Trench all around the arena. It was worth everything.
Yeah, outside he actually had Trench up on the AC unit, trying to keep away from him.
I'm telling you, Omar's got a promising future.
Indeed, he does. He just has to kick that cancer bug.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, let's kick this thing off. I mean, the thing started off with a contract signing between Kevin Sanchez and Montego Sika, and that was a very chaotic contract signing, to say the least.
It probably didn't help that Anthony's audio equipment didn't work too well. Um,
I mean, what do you expect from the number four podcast?
right. But yeah, like the actual action itself, I think Kevin was quite ballsy to come out by himself when Montego brought out all of the gold blooded killers.
Yeah. And apparently he brought his own personal security, which was not who he thought it was.
Guy had hired that security officer because he got attacked after the last show, so the guy was trying
Mhm.
to protect himself. By now, the fans know that the security officer was Logan Knight.
Spotlight Logan Knight. It was good to see him back. We actually haven't seen Logan Knight for a couple of months when he lost the belt, thanks to Sika cashing in the Sure Shot briefcase last year.
Right. Logan's been busy wrestling in other places, and he also, I think, probably needed a little bit of break from Empire after losing just to like regain his confidence.
No, no, absolutely. It got pretty chaotic too. With all of that, to the point that even Father Patch came in to try to help save the day and even the odds.
Which, I mean, he did even the odds, and that actually set up a match later in the night, which we'll get to later in the show.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. And that was a wild, chaotic start. But then we had our very first match of the night, which was Badger James versus the EPW Internet Television Champion Malachi. That was a pretty interesting back and forth. And let me be the first to say it. And new EPW Internet Television Champion Badger James. I mean, the Black Flag Rising continues their assault on the psychotic messengers, now taking gold from off of their waist.
Yeah, and that was a really good match. I mean, it actually showed parts of why Badger is kept around Black Flag. I mean, each of those pirates have their own special part of the ship.
No, no, that's actually true. It was a very, very good match. We definitely have to do something with, when you fight one, it seems like you fight them all because they were always out there. But Badger held his own. And again, he has the badge now. He has the banner. So, I mean, I believe you had a chance to catch up with him after he won the title, right?
Yeah, but before we go back to that, let me comment on something you said. You said fighting one, you're fighting them all. It's right because Trench Blythe was out there and he actually got your attention, which allowed Badger James to low blow Malachi and get the win off that.
No, 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 absolutely right. I mean, I'm man enough to admit it wasn't my finest hour. I can only call it as I see it. We have several members in the EPW Army who are doing their best to help be extra pairs of eyes and ears for me. I just want to let you guys know I absolutely hear you, and I'm absolutely doing my best. And I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure that we can get a handle on this, because this is getting ridiculous. Whether it be I talk to our commissioner whenever he's free with the Saints, and have a conversation about this, or we come up with something to even ban them from ringside. But this has definitely got to stop, because again, it seems like when you fight one, you fight them all.
Right. Now go ahead and roll that footage of where I talked to Badger and like other members of the Black Flag Rising.
Absolutely. Check it out, guys.
All right, around the Colosseum, I am standing here with Badger James, the new internet television champion. Badger,
Right.
congratulations on
you,
that.
thank you.
What do you have to say about any of future opponents? Tell them, Badger. What are we doing, baby?
Let me just tell you what the hell I have to say. I am over the moon right now because I told everyone what was going to happen before I even came out here. And that's the best feeling, is knowing you're right. And this whole time, this whole venture here at Empire is just proving we're right. And what is right is us holding all the gold, which is, this is a start. This is only the start. And another step to showing we're right is putting the messengers away forever, for good. See you later, sayonara. We don't need to see you anywhere. Go somewhere else.
Well, now, you mentioned holding all the gold. Damn lost his title match not against Tank.
Well, damn, this time.
This time.
But now we know more about him. It's a learning process, and that's why you guys don't get it. It's because you guys are not on the level that we are on.
We're not here for one match. We're not here for one show. We're here to pick a fight. We're here to topple the Empire. Don't worry about them losing one match. We're still here to take all the gold.
Say it. And this is just the start. The Badger James era has begun. And next, you best believe I'm coming after that heavyweight championship.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just have to wait and see if Black Flag Rising can actually topple the Empire like they plan and take and collect all the gold. Thank you, gentlemen.
And if you don't like it, do something about it.
There you have it.
Yeah, and I think the way they ended that, if you don't like something, do something, or don't like it, do something about it, may actually even go towards you when you're repping. If you don't like them out there,
You know,
and always
thinking-
interfering.
Yeah, I'm thinking, and then I may actually have to do something about it. Like I said, this is getting ridiculous. I mean, they mentioned the next thing that we were going to talk about is, damn, taking on Tank Bryson. Like I said, they pretty much spoiled it, but they won some and they lost some. It was a hell of a match. But Tank is still EPW International Champion.
Which I had to laugh a little. Damn does not look good imitating Randy Orton. Like, he just does. Damn just looks like he should be like some little kid being like patted on the head or something, not the legend killer badass like Randy Orton,
No, absolutely. But I will admit that I have never seen someone take a chop like Damn can take a chop to the chest.
Oh yeah, and he needs to take more chops to the chest because I love that little shrill yell he lets out. I don't care if it hurts him. I like that sound. It's interesting.
No, it couldn't happen to a nicer person. Like I said, I enjoyed the match. It was a good back and forth match, and they were hard fought. But again, and still, EPW International Champion, Tank Bronson. So that's going to make for some interesting dynamics. I'd like to see how Tank Bronson and Malachi actually still work together as a tag team, considering, one now has singles gold and one doesn't.
Well, I don't think the fact that one has gold and the other doesn't is going to affect the way the Psychotic Messengers work as a unit. They are a cohesive group. I think Malachi has been slightly pulling away from the tag ever since he got his short shot briefcase. Because in the 6-man, you've seen Malachi come out and just watch and observe. I don't think that's going to be an issue for Tank or Malachi. the big issue comes for Psychotic Messengers as a whole. Who does Lucian put in the tag team division?
Absolutely. And I think that's the biggest thing. We're definitely going to have to work on getting Lucian onto the show at some point because I would really love to pick his brain. It definitely seems like his stable is growing. And I'm curious to see if his stable's growing so that he can keep up with the numbers of Black Flag Rising.
Right. Luckily, Black Flag Rising isn't growing. Maybe it's because they can't swim out to a ship.
Probably. I mean, we get a lot of you can't swim chants, and that's amazing. All in all, the night's been great. It has been a golden night. I mean, talking about that, let's talk about another championship bout that took place was for the EPW Tag Team Championships. The Gemini and Shadow Gemini taking on the Saints, which was interesting. It basically was a battle of twins when it depends on how you look at it. The Gemini twins versus the Saints twins.
Right. And the Geminis had to use their speed against the Saints to try to outmaneuver them. And at the end of the match, one might actually say Shadow Gemini did use his speed to get a win and a pin over Scott Sanders, I believe was legal Sanders at the time.
Absolutely. And I mean, and I called the 1, 2, 3. I'm ready to hand the belts off. And then our very well educated EPW commissioner broke it down to me that apparently I didn't call the match right. But again, what can you do when every match seems to be chaotic? Long story short, I actually had to, and it kind of broke my heart a little bit. I had to explain it to one of our younger members of the EPW Army what happened because they couldn't understand. So long story short, what happened was that Shadow Gemini was not the legal person. So when I counted the 1, 2, 3, I thought I did my job, but apparently because he wasn't legal, we had to restart the match. And that's where I personally have a problem with this, considering this is our EPW commissioner who let this happen. Because he, before I was able to start the match, basically hits him right in the face with the chain. And there's nothing I can do about it but call the 1, 2, 3. So, and still, EPW Tag Team Championship.
You say Shadow Gemini wasn't the legal man, but one of our listeners, one of our faithful EPW members, Kenny Rich, said that he has proof Shadow Gemini did tag in. I couldn't find any video from it. So, Kenny, when you see this, if you found the video that shows the proof, let us know. Send it in to us, and we can post it and to say whether or not the commissioner cheated with the Saints or not, even though the Saints claim they never cheat.
Absolutely. I mean, you mentioned Kenny. I mean, I just want to take a moment to personally thank Kenny because, you know, Kenny has been one of those fans when I first came there that I love his energy and everything. And he's probably one of our most observant fans in the EPW Army. And if he's got the proof, I would love to put it on here and show it. Who knows? Maybe at some point, Kenny, we'll even have you on the show.
I mean, if anyone has any proof to prove that you did your job right versus the commissioner saying you didn't.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about Kenny. Kenny's on my side. He's doing his best to help me out. And I want to let him know that I see it. I see what he's doing. And I want to look out and do my best to try to be the EPW referee that these people need. I mean, that's why I had to admit to myself, I'm your favorite-ish referee.
I mean, right now you're the only referee, so you're also the most hated referee.
Right? I'm the most loved and the most hated simultaneously. It's a great problem to have, but compared to the referee that took my place, I'm doing pretty good.
Right.
Now we had that contract signing, and it set up an impromptu match, which was basically a 6-man match featuring Logan Knight, Father Page, and Kevin Sanchez against the Gold-Blooded Killers. That was an interesting match. I mean, that match was basically hard-hitting from front to back.
And I will take you to task in this match because I witnessed it myself. There was several switching of legal men between the Gold-Blooded Killers with no tags whatsoever.
Look,
I seen Montego do it with Onyx. Onyx would then tag in Reese. Reese would switch out with Onyx again. But I mean, I also witnessed it last night on AEW Dynamite where they didn't really pay attention to tags. So, I mean, if the big leagues can mess it up, you're allowed to mess it up once or twice.
I'm doing my best, fellas. I really, really am. And that's the biggest thing where first and foremost to even call these guys legal in any sense of the words is its own stretch. I mean, our current EPW heavyweight champion is basically an ex-convict holding it down, and he basically brought his gang with him, and they're just running shop. It's another situation where when you fight one, you fight them all. And it really seems like the whole purpose of the match was to just cause more damage to Kevin Sanchez.
Well, I mean, Montego does have that title defense coming up next month. So why not take out this opponent as much as you can?
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
the way that match ended to me was amazing. Like, Mitch Onyx is proving why his moniker is the greatest ever made with the jumping cutter when his opponent was in an electric chair position on Reese and Sika's shoulders. That was an amazing maneuver by him.
Yes, the gold digger, as it is called. Yes, it was an amazing move to see at the end of the day. I mean, kudos to the team. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to call it how I see it. They are an incredible tag team. They work great as a team. You know, all three of them, when they come individually, even when they work as a tag team and they switch out, they're really great. I just wish that they held true to what their merits were and how good they are in the ring and not resort to a lot of these tactics. I mean, at some point, they had me backed in the corner, bullying me. Just have a match, fellas. You're that good. Prove it. You have nothing else. Just have the match. Why must you always resort to these tactics to get the job done?
As they compliment each other, you compliment me when you know the name of the moves and I don't. Because
hey, we got to have each other's back here, Johnny. We really do. By
and
all means, you also notice I was asking you to please ring the bell.
I did notice that.
Yes, absolutely. After that, I mean, following up, we had our final match of the night, final championship match of the night, which was the Gun Show. Rick Russo versus Adrian Vega for the EPW All-American Championship. And there I say it, and new EPW All-American Champion, Rick Russo.
There was a lot of technicality in that match. Just armbar after armbar, submission after submission, escapes, counterings, and all that, to where it was a very tight match, and it's a shame how it ended.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, give him a rundown, Johnny.
I mean, again, just interference. Cap W came out, Neshoba, Warhawk, and from behind, Tyler Watts hit Adrian Vega. Rick Russo didn't see it. Rick kicks him in the gut, Russian leg sweep, and you count the 1, 2, 3.
That's all I can do. The 1, 2, 3. And again, that goes back to Cap W. I mean, everyone's favorite son, Tyler Watts, decides to show up, you know, and I'm pretty sure at some point we're going to see good old Martin sooner or later. I mean, I don't understand this. If Cap W wants to do their thing, do their thing. But why do you have to interfere in our business over here at EPW?
Yeah, I mean, Adrian Vega even went on to Facebook and was like, can I not have a match without it getting interrupted? Because his December match got interrupted. His January match got interrupted. His February match got interrupted. Now his March match got interrupted. I don't know if he's on the card for April yet. But 4 months, that's a quarter of the year where all of his matches in Empire Pro Wrestling have been interrupted by someone, some way.
No, absolutely. And like I said, I could understand Adrian's frustration. I mean, at this point in time, we're looking for, at some point, I think EPW needs to fire a shot back, and maybe we need to go ahead on and knock on Cap W's door once or twice and see how those guys are doing.
I mean, Cap W has to have shows for us to do that. They did have a show the 16th but we had bigger and better things raising money for Omar and his fight against cancer to
Absolutely.
worry about that pissant organization.
Yeah. Look, again, I dare not say too much bad about him because, again, Martin Justice is over there and this man still scares me. I mean, the whole reason I got into refereeing was because of him. And I still would like to have a real heart to heart with him. Martin, I meant what I said. You know, it's not that I'm upset at what you did. I genuinely just want to know why. Because again, I looked up to you. You were the EPW referee of the year. The whole reason I got into being a referee was because of you. And then no soon as that happens, you join Cap W. I just want an explanation. Hopefully you can come on the show and kind of share that with us.
And besides Martin just being a ref and that a big stab, like he did so many things behind the scenes at EPW and was such a enjoyable person to be around compared to some others. I'm sure if he wanted to rejoin EPW at some point, arms would be wide open for him.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I'll take Martin Justice over E-Bone any day of the week, but don't tell him I actually said that.
And so then our main event was a 30-man battle royal for the Omar Cup, which they had designed for the winner of this battle royal. You did a pretty good job for being a one-man ref for that battle royal. The big companies always have 3 or 4 people out there refing it.
Hey, you know what? I appreciate it. I was trying, Johnny. I was really trying to do my best. I was hoping that I can at least get one match right. And go figure, I couldn't get any of the individual matches right, but I was able to get the 30-man battle royal correct. I was doing pretty good. I mean, at some point, Montego came out there, and yet again, I'm trying to get everybody to the back end. He does what he does best, and gets on me at the end of the day. It came down to a very interesting ending where we ended up with the Messengers. It was Tank and Malachi together. It seemed like it was going to be an interesting match, but then Lucian comes in and says, that's it, we're done. So for the first time ever, co-winners of the Omar Battle Royal Cup, the fight for the Cure Cup winner. So let's just say the Messengers were the winners, and they presented the trophy to Omar.
Right, and that was a touching moment for everyone in attendance. I'm going to back up to some of the action in the ring during Battle Royal. Mm-hmm. The Sanders brothers both got eliminated at the same time. That was interesting. And were you able to catch some of Malik Mayfield's saves to keep him in the match?
It was amazing. I mean, just to see Cam and Malik kind of working together, that was definitely an interesting match. And that's what I loved about it, is that his feet never touched the floor, and it was very unique in how he did it. But at the end of the day, it came down to the Messengers.
Something else that was interesting is the hero Logan Knight, the man that everybody was happy for when he first appeared. He didn't have that same allure during his 6-man, but he comes out and he goes under the ring. Did you catch that?
Did I catch it? I spent half the match looking for Logan Knight. Every time I saw him, he's somewhere else under the ring. He waited till almost halfway through the match to finally get in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a little cowardly of him. Of course, I also wasn't the one going in the ring. When the ring was the most full, there was like 7 or 8 people, I think it was. We had close to a ton of men in that battle royal. The Sanders were both in there. They're at least 250 each, so that's 500. Eddie Levon, probably close to 400. Anthony Wilds, probably close to 400. I think at the time, Faded Ghoul was still in there. Luckily, that ring has been getting better and better each show and reinforced.
Yeah. If I can quote another wrestler, it was some big meaty men slapping meat out there. It was insane what was going on. I mean, I wouldn't have been bold enough to get under that ring when I knew all that humanity was in there. But Logan Knight definitely trusted it.
Well, maybe that says something about you over Logan.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it definitely wouldn't have been me. I just want to talk too. We did at some point catch up with Rick Russo as well, and he actually had some stuff to say about his championship as well.
With me now, Rick Russo, the new All-American champion. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
But do you think it's a little tainted with Cap W coming out and taking out Vega?
I didn't even know they were there until it happened. I mean, hey, it's whatever, man. You're looking at the new champion right here, and I plan on keeping this for a while.
I mean, that is what matters, is having the gold. Are you going to offer Vega a rematch since there's questionable endings here?
Yeah, well, hey, it's up to the commissioner, it's up to the people in the back, what they want, it's up to the fans. Hey, I'm a fighter. I'm a fighting champion. I'll do whatever it takes to keep this.
Now, you said it's up to the commissioners. Can you trust Christopher Samuel Dean and his allegiance with the Saints of Pro Wrestling? Especially how you guys lost the tag titles.
Well, I don't really say, well, hell with the commissioner. Put it that way. It's up to the fans or up to whoever wants it. If Vega wants another rematch, I'll give him a rematch. It don't matter to me, because you're looking at the champ right now. I plan on staying that way.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Russo, and congratulations on your win.
Hey, thank you.
There it is. I mean, you had it. Like I said, I felt like it was worth saying. Rick Russo, to hell with the commissioner at this point in time. It just really feels like the commissioner is slowly losing that authority now that he's definitely joined the Saints. Again, because remember, he didn't turn his back on EPW. He joined the Saints.
Right. And that was actually my first time to actually have a conversation with Rick Russo. Like, I'd shake his hand at the shows like we're supposed to, but I hadn't ever sat down and talked with him.
Wait, hold on. You shook his hand?
Well, yeah, we're supposed to shake hands.
But that's the gun show. Like, I would be so scared he would break digits in shaking his hands. Have you seen the arms on that man?
Have you shaken hands with a lot of the people in the locker room? It's like shaking hands with noodles.
That is not the case with the gun show.
We don't need to squeeze each other's hands for a dominance thing, but we need to, like, show we have a little bit of grip strength, you know?
Yeah. I'm always a little hesitant to shake Rick Russo's hand because, again, I feel like that man is just not aware of his strength.
He did have a nice firm handshake. I shake hands with him each show. I just don't generally talk to him because most of the time it's like, hey, yeah, and then how you doing? And I'm off to do something else, or he's got his methods he does to prepare. Not that EPW is just cliques that don't interact, but like everyone has, and it's just human nature. Everyone has who they hang out with and talk to. And Rick isn't one of those for me, but he's a wonderful person, and I do thank him for taking the time out after his win to talk to me.
Let's just bring it home. This next month, Thirst for Gold. One of the main matches we're going to be looking forward to is finally happening. Kevin James Sanchez is going to take on Montego Sika. Apparently, he didn't read the fine print. What's this mean, Johnny?
Well, how about you roll that beautiful footage and show the fans what it means?
Absolutely. Check this out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, on April 20th at Rush for Gold, Montego Sika will face Kevin Sanchez for the Empire Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship of the world. And walking up this way now, Montego Sika.
And who the hell are you?
My name is Johnny Amon. How are you doing today?
I don't care how you're doing today. Let me tell you something, Kevin. You know, I hope you read the fine print on that contract. There's one little detail on that. April 20th, Thirst for Gold. You got a title shot. Congratulations. But if you were to read the contract, it states that you can't use that DDT at all. Use that DDT, the match is going to be thrown out. And I'm still going to be the Empire Heavyweight Champion. So you better think of something else that you can do. Till then, I see you then.
And there we have it, another stipulation from contracts where they weren't read. Kevin Sanchez cannot use his DDT against Montego Sika. A heavy disadvantage when you can't use your own finisher.
There you have it.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to have your hands full during that match. And I'm sure when we do our video reviewing the card for, or not reviewing, but explaining the card for the next month, We're going to go into more detail and more depth about the DDT and all that. Right now, do you have any thoughts of what it's going to potentially be like to ref that match?
There's going to be a lot of tension in there. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out. I know that Kevin Sanchez is a bit of a darling in the company at the end of the day, and his comeback has been amazing to say the least. I mean, the man has literally done everything he says that he's going to do. So I'm curious to see how he's going to handle it. However, I'm equally curious to see how he deals with the numbers game, because that's probably my biggest concern. Kevin Sanchez can hold his own, because last month he did clear the ring of the gold-blooded killers. But clearing the ring and being in a match at the same time and keeping your head on the swivel, that's going to be interesting. I would actually love to get Kevin Sanchez up here and talk and see what's his plan and his strategy for dealing with not only Montego Seega, but the actual gold-blooded killers, because you already know if one's going to be there, they're all going to be there.
I don't know if we necessarily want him on here so he can give his plan away, because then Sterling can see what Kevin plans. But I feel like it's been a different Kevin since the Fireball, because if you look at him, before he almost came off as a slob. He had basketball shorts, old tee, and not a care for his appearance. Now he's showing up to the Colosseum, to the arena, in pants and a polo with Empire. So I think we're dealing with, and Montego Seca needs to worry about a different Kevin than what he's used to.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think this is the same Kevin Sanchez. I mean, this feels personal, and rightfully so. And so I really want to see how this turns out, because I don't think Montego is ready for this particular version of Kevin Sanchez.
I mean, I don't know what we're going to get into with this particular version as Kevin.
This is true. And now that the DDT is banned, and that's been Kevin Sanchez's go-to move, what do we do for that? Moreover, we have to always remember that even though this match is Kevin Sanchez versus Montego Seega, there is always a third party waiting in the wings in Malachi.
That's pretty much all we have for the show. So before we go, I want to leave us with one last thing. Make sure to read the fine print of any contracts, because this is the second time it's gotten someone into issues. The next show is April 20th, Southern Oaks Recreation Center. Tickets on sale now, $12. Erwin, what you got to say to end the show?
For me personally, I want to say to our Patreon subscribers, thank you, because without your donations, without your subscriptions, we wouldn't even be able to put on this show. Yes, at some point we do release this on YouTube, but it's with you guys and you get that early access. So if you ever want it, get that early access. To our EPW Army, I want to also thank you guys. You want to become a member of the EPW Army, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, X, YouTube. We're everywhere. If you see us on YouTube, give us a like and subscribe, because without you and without your support, none of this would be possible.
You're talking about being on YouTube. Also, we get written reviews on realwrestling.net in their Twitter account when it gets published. So if you want to read what happened, I publish the review there at realwrestling.net. I put one up today, which is 21st of the month. And so it's available now if you want to read what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, we definitely want to thank our EPW Army at the end of the day. And that's basically what's been going on around the Colosseum. Until next time, Johnny, I want to say thank you for being you. Appreciate you being the voice of the EPW.
All right. Thank you, our greatest referee of EPW.
Ish.
Y'all have a good night.
Have a good one.
A man thirsts. He reaches for water or wine. But what if that thirst can't be quenched by anything but power? Empire Pro Wrestling presents The Thirst for Gold, Saturday, April 20th at the Southern Oaks Recreation Center. Montego Seca puts his EPW Heavyweight Championship on the line as he faces Kevin Sanchez. This bad blood has been brewing for months, and the time has come for it to spill. Also appearing, Tank Bryson, the GBK, Black Flag Rising, and more. Tickets just $12. Available at the door or at the Empire Pro Wrestling Facebook page. EPW, The Thirst for Gold, Saturday, April 20th at the Southern Oaks Recreation Center, 400 Southwest 66th Street in Oklahoma City. Doors open at 5:30. Bell time is at 6. Sponsored in part by Dark Battles Oklahoma and Junk of All Trades.